Welcome back, everyone, to Commentators Corner. I hope you've all dried yourselves off before you come in here. Looked very wet out there. Andy and I enjoyed that one, especially some of the battles out there. We're going to start then with the first person to walk through into the commentary box, and that is Steph. I've got the soap ready, Steph, but talk us through qualifying.
You can put your soap away, Kieran. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hope you all enjoy that. Qualifying. Obviously, like loads of forecasts thinking it was rain. I was like, okay then. I just set my car up for the race really, then rather than qualifying. And first runs on soft, I was like, okay, yeah, just set like a timer. And then second run did on the super soft. I thought, okay, not too bad. And then obviously mocked up my run a little bit on the first stint of super soft run, and then obviously the second super soft run I was just like, okay, got myself prepped up, and then start my lap going for the assist. And next thing is Pale was ahead and decided to retire his car, and obviously by the time I got to his car it's just before the beginning of Donut Curve, which then completely hampered my lap because I was literally up on my delta, and yeah, I had to settle for where I was in 10th.
Yeah, May saying that was torture in the chat. You look like you enjoyed yourself out there, Steph.
When it comes to wet weather, I just literally like love wet conditions. It's a different type of skill when you got to be like treating the car like it's on ice, like just ride the ice and just glide through, and if it sticks to you, it's happy days.
And
So wet conditions.
yeah, you had that massive battle with Sean that seemed to last the entire race. Were you getting bored at some point looking at the back of the Williams?
No, not really. It was, to be honest, it was like to start the race wise. I was like, a bit tentative, like especially for like the last two races I had was a bit um, not my form like downside, but got off to like a good decent start. Got down towards turn one and just thought, okay, just get the car through, pick it out bits and pieces and gaps as much as possible. Obviously, like I had a battle with Poe and Lighty as well, along with a teammate as well. So it wasn't too bad. And then obviously then set down to me and Sean just like battling through. I really enjoyed it. He was like defending his lines well, and I try and like force him into a mistake. And obviously a couple of times, especially through the digness, he was like making the crucial mistake there. So I knew that is his weakness. So I had to capitalise on it quick and try and be close. And then when I had the opportunity to overtake, I did. So
Yeah, and just talk us through that. We didn't quite catch it on stream. Just talk us through what happened to the Casio triangle on the final lap.
basically on the final lap, obviously I had like 9 seconds of penalties, and compared to Sean, who had about 3 or 6. I think it was just 3 he had last time I knew. So basically, I just like thought, well, I'm going to lose position anyway, so I might as well just let him go, and just say like, there you go, you might as well have a position because I'm going to lose in penalties, so you might as well just cross the line in the position you had. So which is say really, I got picked up like 9 seconds. It was like first it was like 3, and then got out was like 6. I was just like, oh no, I had to literally try and pull out a gap as much as possible, and then picking up the third penalty was around the spin curve. And I was like within like lines, but the game deemed otherwise, thinking I was like over the line, even though it was just like on the line, and gave me the 3 seconds, which I didn't really want. So, still, I'll take 8th place out of that. Well, I had fun, so.
Yeah, good stuff. Andy, have you got any questions?
Yeah, just the only bit I would just be looking to ask is obviously quite a few moments that looked a bit tail happy at times. What was what did you have any moments where you thought, oh boy, and you thought there was going to be race over? Was there anything where you've nearly ended up out of the race at all, or were you under control most of the time?
I had the car under control. Was like a couple of times, just got a bit like, just a little bit too eager. I think okay, I had the car stabled and gone for a little bit, just trying to get the good traction as I can to get a good run on any cars I was ahead. Obviously, like back end came out a little bit of moments, especially the couple of times, also say a few times around Degner too. But I had like full control of it all the time, so didn't lose the car at all.
Fair enough. And obviously it's Thursday night. Tomorrow night you're back doing this job instead. So, as I always do, take it away, Maestro.
Thank you very much there, Andy. So, tomorrow night we move obviously from today from Japan, and we're going down all the way down to South America for the Brazilian Grand Prix, where we have carnivals all going through. Hopefully, nice sunny weather. Deck chairs there. You're Fernando Alonso sitting around 10-1. So yeah, hope you still can join us there for Friday tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Battle still ongoing in terms of constructors though, so we will see what happens. Hopefully the right team gets enough points here up Brazil, and potentially may wrap it up from there. If not, it will go straight to Abu Dhabi.
And Steph, before you depart from us, next race in TTL F1 will be the US Grand Prix at COTA. Just talk us through that. How are you feeling about the track?
Oh, I love COTA. Like Japan, I love the track. I love COTA as well. There's always have real good, decent races there. So I'm praying for another good result and try push on to the end of the race. Obviously, at the moment, I still need to claw back as much points as I can due to one rival that is in this booth with us. So I've got to try literally as much as I can to catch up the points that I lost over due to DNFs or incidents. So doing all I can is going to be a push on to the end.
Great stuff. Well, thank you for talking to us, Steph. And as always, thank you for the advert. We shall see you at COTA then. And if not any earlier, we'll see you tomorrow night in the box.
Oh, indeed, I'll be in the boxes, don't you worry. Yeah, cheers, guys. And it's also great to have a new mic as well. Because I couldn't join you last Tuesday due to that. So,
well, you sound better, I've got to say.
Good results are what I need. Using it as a motive, as a form to push the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to us, Steph, and obviously we'll see you in the box tomorrow night.
Indeed. Thank you very much, guys. Good job as always. And everyone else, I'll see you tomorrow night. Feel free to join me.
Next in the box, we've got Alan Kay. Alan, how are you tonight?
Hey, gentlemen, how are you? I hope you enjoyed that race.
I think we did. We were up in the nice and dry. You were out in the nice and wet, I suppose. Obviously, qualifying. What did you prioritise? We heard Steph prioritise the race. Was there any temptation?
No, I prioritise that as soon as I seen it with a full wet race. It was my first full wet race, completely start to finish with heavy rain, without assists in the racing, so. Without the braking assist or the ABS or traction control on. So I've done a few races where they're being intersport, not full wets and not the full race. So as soon as I seen it was raining, I prioritised the race straight away. Not trying too bad in quality, but could have been a bit quicker if I had the car set up right.
And it's points today as well, Alan, for your first time without any assists.
Is stopping. It's Steph only got 3 points of advantage over me, so won't be enough to get him back above me this week. He'll still have to sit behind me till Tuesday at least, so that's one bonus.
And it did look like towards the end of that race you were lining up a battle with Mays, especially in those last 10 laps.
Most of the way through the race I was having a good little battle with Mays. I think from about lap 4 onwards. Because a few times I come out of different corners and I'm a little bit eager on the throttle and sort of a little bit of a tank slapper maybe, and dropped a couple of tenths back away from him. Like maybe drop back to 2.5 seconds as far as I dropped back away, but it was close, put back up to him pretty quick. It's just the problem is I couldn't get a chance to overtake him. When you got up right behind him, it was either dirty air in the corners or trying to drive out the corner ahead of him. It's hard to see where through the spray and stuff. So Japan maybe not the ideal track for overtaking in the wet, but I was trying my best to get by him, but just couldn't make it a pass stick.
And obviously on the final lap there, it looked like there was going to be some sort of battle going towards the Casio Triangle, and then the blue flags came out.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was having a little eye at the inside there into the Casio Triangle, and next thing I was seeing the blue flags, and I was knew it was Blizzard behind. So Blizzard's pretty quick. As soon as the blue flags come up, usually he's there on your tail and ready to go by it. Where you get some of the other guys where the blue flags have come up, and you sort of have a corner or two to get around before you need to get out of the way. Where Blizzard, sort of Blizzard and Lambo, as soon as you see the blue flags, you know they're on the back, you just get out of the way.
And how frustrating was that coming towards the line?
Yeah, it would have been nice to. Well, I suppose Lambo had already lapped me, but it would have been nice to be able to finish on the late lap. But kind of, once I've seen the wet race, I kind of expected that I would be lapped anyway in the race. So a learning curve. Yeah. Happy enough I scored points, and that's the main thing. Spike got points for the team as well, so maybe we can grab one or two more places in the constructors between now and the end. Would be nice.
Oh, great stuff. Andy, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, obviously you've mentioned there about you in state championship, obviously quota up next. Do you feel that could be a strong track for you to gain some points back up?
Yeah, well, like certainly America's, it's a good track. I'm probably about the same pace as Steph around Coda as well, so should be an interesting battle there between the two of us. And I'd say we probably have maybe Sean Mays in the mix, and obviously any of the quicker guys will have incidents ahead. Then, if they do have incidents, will be dropped back into the mix with us as well. So it looks like all signs point to an interesting race, and let's hope we get the true Texas weather and not rational rain.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a sunny Kota too. Just one final question. As we head towards season 13, you look like you're preparing yourself for an entire season of no assists. How well is that going?
Probably not preparing myself for an entire season of no assists at this stage. I'm only starting to turn off the racing line and practice sessions and stuff like that. I'm back on a level par at the pace I was at from since I turned off the ABS and traction control. So I suppose we'll use practice sessions and try to turn off the driving line between now and the end of this game cycle, and hope from then F1 2019 to be completely no assists.
Oh, great stuff. That's great to hear. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Alan, and we shall see you at Kota.
You will indeed.
Take care of yourself, Alan.
Bye-bye, lads.
And last but of course not least, it's Spike. Spike, decent qualifying, but a frustrating race. Would that sum it up for you?
Frustrating race? Not really. Just Jeff. That's all I'm going to say is Jeff. He called me in for inters, so I noticed lap times had got a little bit better and the line was drier. So I was like, okay. So I believed him, so I broke my own rule and pitted, and obviously that wasn't the correct tyre to be on, basically.
So disappointed with the team then on that decision?
Well, just Jeff, not the whole team. It's only Jeff's fault. It's all Jeff.
It's all Jeff. When was the moment you realised actually we should be back on the other tyre?
First flying lap. That lap felt okay. But then as soon as I started to try and push it, it wasn't much slower than the warm wets, but it just wasn't any quicker. And obviously as soon as Blizzard pitted for fresh wets and come out, then obviously you could see just the difference between the two tyres. They weren't terrible, you could drive, but they weren't quite, they just weren't on the pace. So I had to come back in, otherwise I would have just ended up losing more and more positions. So.
And that feeling of having to come back in to put on another set of tyres, you're making 2 stops rather than 1. Just talk us through your feelings about
that. I mean, pace-wise, I think I was P4, destined for P4 anyway. I don't actually know if Squeezy damaged his wing when he touched the back of me into the hairpin. But I mean, possible if I hadn't pitted, then I probably would have been third because I had no penalties, so that was good. I was pleased with that. I changed the wing levels probably a little too much. so I was too slow through sector 2 and 3. And I've never been particularly strong out of spoon. It's probably the weakest part of the circuit for me. On the exit of that corner there, I can never seem to get quite the same exits that other people do.
Andy, over to you with the questions.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, big struggle, obviously, there, and it's a shame because if the roll of the dice had worked for you, it could have been absolutely phenomenal. P4 still a decent result, something to obviously build on moving into Circuit of Americas next week. How do you fancy your chances when we head to Texas?
Yeah, it's alright. A lot of people don't like the circuit. I quite like it. The middle sector's a little bit Mickey Mouse, but the rest of it's good fun. It's all about trying not to pick up too many penalties through sector 1, really. Obviously the fast left, rights and all that, it's very easy to nip the curbs and get yourself time penalties. So we'll see. Again, I quite enjoy it, so we'll have to see.
Great stuff. Just as a final closing word, Spike, coming into season 13, are you sticking with Sauber? How are those negotiations going?
I have no news at the moment.
Oh, that's a typical F1 driver response. Oh well, I thought I'd try anyway.
I haven't made a decision yet. Basically, is I've not even considered it yet. So you'll know in due course.
Fair enough. Good answer. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us, Spike, and we shall see you at the American Grand Prix.
We'll do. Take care of yourselves. Good job, boys, as always.
Right, and now we come to the advert side of it. So, as the lovely Steph was mentioning, you can catch the next round of TTFL, where the Constructors' Championship is still to be decided. You can do that tomorrow night at 8 PM live on this channel. On Saturday, we have the first half of the Asia Pacific Mini League Tour, and that's rounds 1, 2 and 3. Myself and Andy will be in the commentary box this Saturday for it. 5-team battle between VSR, TTG, One Hub Racing, CPI Esports and Innovate Virtual Racing. Driver lineups are to be confirmed at a later date, but you can join us for that one live at 8 PM. 25% races, one-shot qualifying. If you watch the European Tour, you're going to love the Asia Pacific Tour. On Sunday we have TTL F2. That is with the I believe that's with Jack in the commentary box on Sunday, and of course it follows the exact same calendar. So we have the Russian Grand Prix and the Japanese Grand Prix, 25% races. You can also catch Jack. I believe there's talks of a Mini League Support Cup on the same Saturday at 7 PM. That'll be at the Canadian Grand Prix, and that is the TTG Esports Academy versus Nexus Esports versus SSR Esports team. So details to be confirmed about that at a later date, but you can join us for them. And I will be back on Tuesday in the commentary box live at COTA. Well, that's all the advert done, I think. Anything else to add, Andy?
Well, there's two other quick wee bits to add in there, and it's obviously being a bit centred towards what I'm trying to run is obviously the Project Cars League that's coming up, starting on the 23rd of February. Formula C, Formula 3 class default setup, so still some spaces up for grabs if you are interested. And if you are interested, a particular Mr. Irishman, Mr. Alan Kay, is hosting an open public lobby on Wednesday night, I believe it is, at 8 o'clock, running to the league specifications there. So if you do want to have a wee try of the car before signing up, you can do so. And if you do want to sign up, drop me a direct message on TT_PCars on Twitter. If you've not got Twitter, then you can obviously drop one to someone who runs here at TTG, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction as well. There's still a few spaces up for grabs. That starts the Saturday after the Mini Esports League. So we've got this Saturday and next Saturday for the Mini Esports League, and then Project Cars starts up the following Saturday, the 23rd. So be interesting to see how that one goes, and I'm hoping to get a few more drivers in to get a full grid. And if you fancy a go, Alan's hosting the lobby on Wednesday.
And I'll also be streaming my point of view from that race lobby on my YouTube page, TTG MK. So if you also wanted to get involved but can't make the race, pop on there and drop a message in the comments to me, and we'll sort things out for you.
I think that's all the adverts done now for definite. We run a lot here on TTTV, that is for sure. I'm looking forward to the Project Cars 2 one. See those Formula C cars. I mean, I unfortunately won't be getting into the seat of the car because, well, we all know my pace nowadays. It's severely dropped off. Oh well, what can you do?
You can join me in the commentary box if you want.
That is a good idea. Ooh. Now you've tempted me. I've got to sleep on that one. In the meantime, though, you can join us for all the advertised stuff. Join Steph tomorrow on the channel. Make sure you do subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notification when we're live every single time. Well, in the meantime, then, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been Andy Campbell.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Ta-da.